We're here today with nationally renowned educational technology trainer and consultant Eric Curts, who is visiting our school to provide AI training to our teachers. Mr. Curts is a former teacher turned trainer with over 30 years of experience in education. Mr. Curts, before becoming a full-time trainer and consultant, what subject or subjects did you teach, and how did that experience shape the work you do today?
Yeah, so I started off as a math teacher. I was a middle school math teacher, taught 8th grade math, a little bit of 7th grade as well. And that was the first 7 years of my career. At that point, that's when I then switched over into the role as a tech coach, tech consultant, tech trainer, whatever we want to call that. And I've been doing that ever since. But yeah, the first 7 years, middle school math teacher. And as far as, how that affected what I do now, I think in a number of ways. One was, I think now I'm working with adults, so I train teachers. I think it's important to be engaging, to make the professional development fun and exciting and stuff. And that doesn't always happen for adults. A lot of times people think, oh, you're a grown up, we don't need to make it special for you. Well, because I was trying to make fractions important to, 7th and 8th graders. You gotta be, engaging, it's gotta be fun, it's gotta be exciting. I took that mentality and tried to bring it into what I do with adults so that the sessions are more hands-on and more interesting and stuff. So I hope that has helped benefit those trainings that I do now from what I learned as a middle school math teacher.
And I'm sure that's been wonderful for many, many adults. And can you describe your role as a full-time educational technology trainer and consultant? And what does a typical day look like for you?
Yeah, so there is no typical day, but it probably is going to fall into one of two categories. I'm either training or I am learning, I guess, so like today is a training day. Today, basically the entire day is me in front of a bunch of teachers doing training. I have a 3-hour training in the morning, a lunch break, which I don't even get a lunch break because there's these people interviewing me, so I don't even get to eat lunch. No, it's fine. And then I'll do another 3 hours this afternoon, and I'll drive 4 hours home tonight. So my whole day is just training. But then there's other days when I'm not out doing training. That's when I'm doing learning as well as creating content that people can benefit from. So, maybe I'm using tools, I'm watching videos, I'm reading blog posts, I'm creating content that's not face-to-face stuff, but I'm writing my own blog posts, I'm making my own training videos. So if I'm not in front of people teaching, I'm basically learning or I'm creating content that can be used over and over again.
And what inspired you to focus on educational technology, and how do you think it has changed the way teachers teach and students learn?
Well, as far as ed tech goes, honestly, I'm just a big nerd. I am. I've always loved technology since I was a kid. Had like a Commodore 64 computer when I was a teenager and learned how to program. I've always loved technology, and I think what I like about it is the potential. It's like a blank slate. Probably the way an artist feels when they come up to a canvas and it's blank. Anything's possible. That's the thing with technology. You can do anything with it. It gives you the ability to create and make so much stuff happen that you couldn't do otherwise. So I'm very drawn to that aspect of it. And I think, that affects education because it empowers teachers and students to do the same. A lot of times we talk about the 4 C's in education, collaboration, creativity, communication, and critical thinking, and how important those are and how those are skills that employers are looking for when people graduate from high school or college. That's what they're looking for. Well, technology allows for that, creativity, to be able to make things with technology, collaboration, to get to work together, whether it's in a Google Doc or a Google Meet or whatever it is, critical thinking, collaboration, communication. It allows us to do what we would normally be able to do, but at a higher level. It's not that it's taking our place, it's not replacing us, it's augmenting us. It's allowing us to be the best we can be.
With AI and new digital tools emerging rapidly, where do you see the future of educational technology heading in the next 5 to 10 years?
That's a good question. So it's just a prediction, of course. If I knew, I'd have a lot more money probably if I could predict the future. But here's the idea. Right now, where we're at with AI, I would say it's more of it's an assistant. And that's great. That's fantastic. It's saving time. A teacher can use it to generate a lesson plan, make a rubric, provide feedback on an essay. It can make a quiz. It can help do those sort of tasks. And that's great. I'm not knocking that at all. That's fantastic. It saves time. It encourages teachers to now have more time to do other things. That's great. I think where we're going, though, is if we stop there, I think that's the problem. I think we need to keep going. It really needs to impact students. So I think it's all about personalized learning. That's, I think, where we really need to get. So think about a tool like School AI. I'll just use that as an example. There's a lot that do this sort of a thing. With a tool like School AI, a teacher can create a custom chat bot. Let's say it's a math tutor bot or a science tutor bot or whatever. And they can give it out to all of their students as a link. And anytime a student is stuck on something at home or the weekend, they could click that link and they could talk to the science bot or the math bot. And that AI chat bot is going to meet that student where they're at, and it's going to customize a response for them. That's something that as a teacher we want to do, but we can't realistically meet every single student's need individually. If I'm a high school teacher, I've got 125 kids. I can't reach everybody. I try. We do our best. Well, this is where AI can come alongside and supplement that. So if a student is stuck on something and I'm available, great, come to the teacher. But if I'm not, I can go to the AI and say, I don't get this. I don't understand this. And it can teach, reteach, give analogies, meet me where I'm at, find out how I learn, and support me. And then with a tool like School AI, it records all of that for the teacher. So the teacher can go in and see, well, what are my students struggling with? What don't they understand? Oh, okay, this question keeps coming up and up again with the AI. I need to work on that with the students. I think that's really where, right now, it's more of a time-saving tool. Where I think we need to be getting to is more of a personalized learning tool that meets every student where they're at and comes alongside and supports them.
Yeah, that sounds like a wonderful tool. I know, all of our teachers explain how it's hard to meet everyone, and that would be great for them to use.
Absolutely.
What has been the most rewarding part of your career as a tech ed trainer?
Well, I mean, certainly I love when I do a training like today and have, a teacher come up and say that they really enjoyed it, that they came in with, no knowledge or very little knowledge on this, and now they're excited and they feel confident that they can do that. That's great. But I would say ultimately it's when I get like an email or somebody tags me on social media and says, here's an example of something our students did based on a template I created, a project I created, something like that. What's so cool is that there's a kid out there that I'll never meet who got to go home and say, we did the coolest thing in class today. There's a student whose learning was more exciting and engaging because of something I shared that somehow made it to that teacher that ultimately made it to the student. And that's our goal. That's really what we're here for. Yes, I support teachers, but it's because I want to reach students in the end and help them be the best they can be.
That sounds great. What is one tech tool or resource that you think every student should know about and might not?
Well, that's a tough one because a lot of tech tools are age limited, and so when you talk about students, if you're saying, well, these are, high school students, that might be different because, a lot of tools are like 13 and above. If you're below 13, you might not be able to access it. So I think I would probably have to say it depends. If you're talking about somebody who's, 13 and above or whatever, I would say, a lot of them probably know about ChatGPT, but I would encourage them to check out Gemini if they haven't. So Google has their own version of something like ChatGPT. They have Google Gemini, and Gemini is freely available for anybody 13 and above. If you can have a Gmail account, you can use Gemini. And it's not that it's better than ChatGPT. I think they're both phenomenal, but it's very student friendly. It does something that a lot of the tools don't do. it has a built-in fact check feature. So if you go in and you ask Gemini, hey, explain this to me, it's important to know that AI can make mistakes. It's not perfect. AI can make mistakes. Well, at the bottom of a reply in Gemini, you can click a button and say double check response. And Google will take everything Gemini generated and it will go through and fact check the whole thing, and it will give you links so you can verify the information. I think that's fantastic because you want to know that the information you're getting is accurate. And that's a tool that would empower you to not just have a conversation with a chatbot and get support and get answers, but also get fact checking on it, which I think can go a long way. Now, if a student is younger than that, I think it would be more a matter of me trying to tell the teachers, hey, you need to use something like School AI as an example so that you can allow students to use these school-safe chatbots like School AI can create. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You bet, absolutely.
That was great.